This is a production of PBS Charlotte.
Just ahead on Carolina Impact.
Carolina cotton mills have been struggling for years, but how are Carolina cotton farmers doing? I'm Jeff Sonyer. Stick around. We'll have details coming up.
Plus, we'll spotlight programs helping refugee children stay on track with their schoolwork. And Carolina Cookin' takes us to a popular diner on Charlotte's East Side, offering great meals and mouth-watering desserts. Don't go anywhere. Carolina Impact starts right now.
Carolina Impact, covering the issues, people, and places that impact you. This is Carolina Impact.
Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Amy Burkett. Check that label inside the collar of your cotton shirt. Chances are it doesn't say made in the USA, even though the cotton it's made from was probably grown in the USA. Now, cotton farmers here in the Carolinas are trying to change that, partnering with nearby textile companies to produce garments like this one that are truly homegrown. Our story is part of a new series on Carolina Impact we're calling Remade in the Carolinas, how local textile towns are bouncing back after years of mills closing down and jobs moving. Tonight, Carolina Impact's Jeff Sonyer takes us to Stanley County and the cotton fields just outside of the town of Albemarle.
Yeah, you know, with all the struggles that Carolina cotton mills have been through over the past couple of years, you'd figure Carolina cotton farmers would be struggling too, but actually it's just the opposite. The farmers say that much like this cotton field we're standing in right now, their business is actually, you know, growing.
If you don't enjoy it, it's not in your blood, this is hard work.
Farmer Butch Brooks grows his cotton on 100-year-old family fields. He picks it from behind the wheel of a $500,000 harvester. So yeah, growing cotton and picking cotton isn't just cotton picking hard.
Like I said, I ain't gonna pick no more cotton.
It's also cotton picking expensive.
Well, I think it's great. We're blessed to be able to grow a crop like this.
I ain't gonna pick no more cotton.
But this crop of cotton here at Sunnybrook Farm in Stanley County, these 5,000-pound cotton bales rolling from the back of that big harvester, well, it's not just any cotton. Experts say this is the good stuff. So when you say good cotton, what are we talking about?
Well, with good cotton, take this right here for an example. As you can see from this cotton plant here, you can see the nice pure white into the cotton lint itself. That denotes the high quality. Textiles want this quality cotton for expensive garments, for high quality clothing.
Problem is, there aren't many big textile companies left here in Stanley County. The mill buildings are still here, but the jobs are long gone, not like the old days.
Time was when cotton was king of the coastal plain, but it was
when cotton crops didn't travel very far at all, from the field to the factory.
We actually sold cotton to Wiscasset Mills here in Albemarle, 7 miles down the road. You know, so it went from the field behind the gin to here, straight to the manufacturer, and then, you know, they're gone. There's no spinning mills in my county. There's very few within 50 miles of me anymore. So all that has changed. Wes Morgan runs the Rolling Hills Cotton Gin. The local cotton growers have been bringing all those 5,000-pound bales they harvest for the past 21 years. Morgan shows us how the gin pretty much does the rest. It's all automated and computerized, and man, is it loud. These huge machines separate and clean the cotton fiber tons at a time. The leftover cotton seed sells as feed for cattle, and the gin repacks the cotton itself, this time into smaller bales, barcoded and ready for sale. Yes, until we get all the fiber, you know, seeds removed from fiber, we get the fiber graded, how long, how strong, how white, color, trash, all that, get it into a bale, get it into a warehouse. Until we get all that done, the farmer can't get paid. But if most of the cotton mills are gone now, then who are the cotton buyers? Well, turns out the majority of this Carolina cotton goes to the same place those Carolina jobs went, overseas. This area of North Carolina is the center of cotton in the world at one time, basically. People wanted to be able to go to the store and buy, you know, a shirt made in the United States. Well, right now there's almost none of that. Do we get that again? Do we have something completely made in the Carolinas?
When NAFTA hit, they basically said textiles in this country are dead. You either go overseas or you go out of business.
But Eric Henry and his textile business had a different idea, something he calls dirt to shirt.
There's more to a t-shirt than just the cost of a t-shirt, where it's made, how it's made, the impact it has on the people, the impact it has on the planet, i.e. we grow cotton here, we can make apparel here.
Henry modernized his t-shirt factory here in Burlington with new equipment, turning out shirts labeled Cotton in the Carolinas. The cotton comes from those same growers and ginners in Stanley County we showed you earlier. The shirts are cut and sewn at this factory in Greensboro, then boxed up and sent to Burlington for dyeing and printing. The shirts even have special color-coded threads in the hem and the sleeves, so you can track back your shirt to the very beginning.
If you take those two colors and go to a website where, WHERE, yourclothing.com, you put in these two colors, a map pops up, and from that map I will introduce you to the farmer, the ginner, the spinner, the knitter, the finisher, the cut sew, and TS Designs. And when I say introduce, I give you a picture, I give you a phone number, I give you a physical address, I give you we make our supply chain completely transparent all the way back to the farmer.
That's not necessary, but people kind of want that, don't they? I mean, people like to be able to see that.
Well, back what I said about what's happening with food. People know where the food comes from, and it supports people in the state in which they live in.
And the group known as Cotton in the Carolinas says eventually that so-called dirt to shirt program that they're working on now, well, it's not going to put the cheap overseas shirt makers out of business, but it is creating a whole new business.
We have had great cotton in the state for a long time, and all we're doing is reconnecting that cotton to jobs and textiles back in our state.
Grown and sewn here in North Carolina. Amy?
Thanks so much, Jeff. Apparently, more customers are trying and buying homegrown shirts produced by Cotton in the Carolinas. The business has grown 80% over the past 3 years, with more than 400,000 shirts sold so far. To learn more about them, you'll find a link, Wear Your Clothing, on Carolina's Impact page at pbscharlotte.org. Well, joining me now is Sam Buff, Director of the Textile Technology Center at Gaston College, the Belmont campus. Sam, thanks so much for your time.
It's a pleasure to be here.
As I understand, that old adage of the death of the textile industry is greatly over-exaggerated may hold true in this story. Talk to us a little bit about it.
It does. It's quite disturbing to me to hear those words in that description. And I recently read a newspaper article here in a local paper in Charlotte that was pretty dark and gave a really bleak view of textiles in general, and I just totally disagree with it.
Well, it was exciting in that story to see folks making a difference and getting some excitement, and people watching that thread count and trying to track their shirt, I think is something that is going to have the potential to go viral and to create more energy and excitement around it.
There's a lot of energy in the textile industry, and even from small businesses to very large multinational corporations, there's a lot of energy, a lot of innovation, a lot of new technologies that will change our lives, our everyday lives.
So you talk about technology, you know, that's an image that people don't really think of when it comes to cotton farming, for sure, and turning them into cotton shirts. Talk to us a little bit about that technology.
Well, it's a game changer. One of the most exciting trends that I think we'll see in the upcoming years is the marriage between electronics and traditional textiles. If you think about how far we've advanced even in the past decade or so with just telephones, imagine your cell phone being integrated into your shirt, into your car, into your airplane, which are kind of already there now. But it'll do more things than just that. What you wear will talk to the Internet of Things. So if you think about applications in the medical field, heart rates, temperature, GPS.
My shirt could tell you my heart rate?
Certainly. A lot
and
of
my
them,
temperature.
See, a lot of that technology already exists today. It's driven in a couple of different ways. Department of Defense is always spending money on some very interesting things for our men and women.
But it sounds expensive. Won't it be cost prohibitive?
Well, Yes, initially, until you get the technology to a point where it's more affordable. Because the things we're asking yarns and fabrics to do is very different than it has been in the past. So there's going to be a change in how we approach it, how it's processed, and we'll have to go into the textile facilities and actually retrofit some of that equipment.
And that changes the workforce a bit. Are you having trouble finding the skilled workers for the new technology in the plants?
Very much, very much. There's a gap there, and if you think about and we do have an image problem of sorting textiles. If you think about textiles and like my grandparents' generation, people still have this image of their grandmother in the sack dress and child labor, little kids running around. That's just not what it is today. It's very different. It's highly automated, lots of robotics. And so, if you looked at it as a resume for 50 years ago, you needed somebody with a strong back. Now you need somebody with a strong mind. And the difference is the technology. So these machines, they still have gears in them. Most of them are electronics. It's all computers. It's robotics. It's automation. So they've eliminated a lot of the labor out of it. But the labor we have now is just on a different level skill set wise.
Do you see there being more jobs in the textile industry in the future?
It's interesting. It's a two-part maybe answer. Yes, because of the expansion of the industry, which is really exciting. And then no, because compared to past numbers, just because there's that marriage between technology and
the
people.
Automation.
Exactly.
Fewer people, but with higher skill levels.
Exactly.
And does that mean higher paying jobs?
Yes.
So that's good for the economy and good for our local community.
I think so, and I think manufacturing in general has changed along with textiles, and you have that ripple effect that maybe you don't get in other job creators.
Thanks so much, Sam Buff. We appreciate your information from the Textile Technology Center at Gaston College, and we're looking forward to seeing the future of your industry.
Thank you.
Next up, according to the Carolina Refugee Resettlement Agency, about 700 refugees are resettled in Charlotte each year. In the last 5 years, approximately 3,000 refugees started calling Charlotte home. Many of these children attend high-poverty Title I schools. Carolina Impact's Tanisha Johnson introduces us to a program connecting after-school resources with students who need a little extra tutoring to stay on track.
Immigrants and refugees come to Charlotte looking to turn over a new leaf as they search for better opportunities and a safer place to raise their families. Refugees come from a wide range of places like Argentina, Ethiopia, and Vietnam. But once they end up here in the Queen City, one key to their success is learning English. But that can be a challenge.
I was very scared because on the first day of school, I was okay, but on the second day of school, I cried.
That's why after-school programs like Our Bridge for Kids
Come on, you still need to line up.
Tries to help them succeed.
What we do here with the children is we help them learn English faster and also feel confident and help their self-esteem increase by being proud of who they are, where they come from.
From reading to math, volunteers tutor dozens of students from some of Charlotte-Mecklenburg's high-poverty schools.
How many juice boxes are you? 8 times 6.
16-year-old Rashika Shumlagai volunteers with a group of students who recently moved to the U.S. She knows firsthand how hard it is to adjust to life in a new country.
Coming here, I barely knew any English. When somebody said hi, I used to be like, hey, and just walk away. And now when somebody says hi, I go full-on conversation with them.
Rashika's family moved to the U.S. about 7 years ago. A high school freshman now, Rashika says she wouldn't be nearly as far along in high school without the help she received from Our Bridge for Kids.
If I hadn't come to Bridge, I feel like I would have been speaking English, but not as fluent, not being able to interact with people, not being able to understand other people's cultures.
Sil Gonzo says it's rewarding to see how far some of the students she's tutored have come.
Very nice to see how well adjusted they are to the American culture and how well they speak English.
MECED is a nonprofit working to improve educational opportunities for children in Mecklenburg County. Recently, they launched a new initiative called Charlotte Next, which aims to meet high poverty needs and reduce dropout rates, especially among middle school students. As president of MECED, Ross Dana says another goal of Charlotte Next is bringing together all after-school programs under one umbrella.
We're providing a locator so parents can search by interest and by cost and by location so they can make good informed choices for their young people.
By connecting families to programs, he says everyone benefits in a huge way, especially immigrant families.
Having those environments where you can interact in a sometimes playful way, a fun way, in addition to an academic way, not only builds relationships, but it helps people who live here understand what it's like to come from another country.
Dana says keeping better track of the after-school programs available not only assists the students who need them most, but can also connect these programs with possible funding sources. While Our Bridge for Kids receives a steady stream of grant funding, Happy Bojo says that's not the case for the program she leads called Transformation Educational Services, or TESS.
After 7 years, like doing it without any help, no money at all from the state. Thank you.
Because she's operating on a shoestring budget, just simply arranging transportation to pick up kids in her program cuts down on student tutoring sessions. TESS tutors kids when there are additional volunteers to help with transportation. And when math tutor Chris Amachosi is available to carry some of the financial burden. While it's not easy, Happy and Chris apply for grants and stay encouraged when they see how far a student advances in school.
It's huge. And you can go to their school, all of them are A in math. Some are A+.
For 9th grader Issa Adam, the help he received has made him more confident at school.
When I first got here, I wasn't that great at math, and now I feel like I'm almost an expert. Right now, sadly, I'm rocking a 97. Well, it's way better now because here I can come do my work here and they can teach me more.
Issa's mother says she's proud of her son's progress.
He's more outgoing now. He had that, and he's helping other children that need help in that area.
While it's like a juggling act, waiting on students, picking them up, and taking them to tutoring sessions, Chris says it's worth it.
In my vision, their future is 100% the level of their education. If we miss, they miss.
That's why Charlotte Next hopes that by connecting with after-school groups like TESS, Our Bridge for Kids, and others, it will make it easier for parents to find programs that can help their children who might otherwise fall behind and miss chances to expand their horizons. For Carolina Impact, I'm Tanisha Johnson reporting.
Thanks so much, Tanisha. Charlotte Next is working on a website that will give parents access to an after-school program locator with information about each site. They're also hoping to open up a mini grant program for after-school care providers by September. Well, do you have a sweet tooth? Unfortunately, I do. And this is a dangerous place to have one. The Queen City is ranked as one of the top 20 bakery capitals of America. According to residential real estate data website Find the Home, Charlotte ranks 16th nationally. On this week's Carolina Cooking segment, Jason Terzis takes us to one place that does a whole lot of baking and tons of cooking too.
Strawberry cheesecake, chocolate mousse cake, cinnamon raisin rolls, sweet potato cheesecake, simply irresistible, carrot cake, chocolate covered strawberries, lemon layer cake, giant homemade cookies. Simply irresistible. If it's sugary and scrumptious, you'll no doubt find it at the Landmark Diner on Central Avenue in Charlotte.
They make them look so good. Baklava. And you make you want to try it.
Here they make over 200 varieties of cakes, pies, and pastries. You'll see the delectable delights proudly displayed right as you walk in.
We have the cream cheese Danish, our cinnamon Danish, also our cinnamon roll, a cherry turnover, our arugula, our elephant ear, ginormous, awesome with whipped cream.
I'll look in the case and see, and I'll say we'll try this one this time.
Our layered chocolate Napoleon, our tuxedo mousse, which is vanilla mousse, chocolate mousse, layered marble cake in between with the chocolate layer on top and chocolate covered strawberry.
So we're gonna get a whole one today.
Our chocolate marble cheesecake. In the back we have our New York plain cheesecake, strawberry cheesecake, jumbo eclair.
The man responsible for all this ooey gooey goodness is Larry Kaltsunis. He and his wife Lula do it all, start to finish, in Landmark's basement bakery. Everything starts with the basics: eggs, water, yeast, and oil. Once it's all mixed, flour gets poured in, and a few minutes later, the dough is ready. To make cinnamon raisin Danish, the bread is first flattened and dusted with flour. Next, a cinnamon paste is spread on top. Then a coating of egg wash, brown sugar, nuts, and raisins. Then it all gets rolled, cut off into sections, spread onto a baking sheet, and flattened by hand. When it comes out of the oven, a syrupy glaze is spread on top. How about an apple turnover? First, dough is sectioned off. A handful of turnover filling is plopped on top, then it's folded over and pressed down. Egg wash coating is spread over, and into the oven it goes. How about a classic challah bread? Simple. Roll 3 pieces of dough to about equal size. Braid them together, twist the ends, coat with egg wash, toss on some sesame seeds, and bake. Last one, a pineapple coconut cake. First, Larry slices a vanilla cake horizontally. Then, starting with the bottom layer, he spreads pineapple filling over the slice. Then comes whipped cream, and then another layer of cake. The process repeats 3 more times before a final layer of cream covers the top and sides. Shredded coconut is then spread on the sides, and final decorations go on top. But if sweets aren't your thing, the Landmark has still got you covered. It is a diner after all, and what are diners best known for? Serving pretty much anything at any time. Just scroll down the menu. Burgers, salads, sandwiches, steaks, seafood, Greek food, Italian food. You name it, it's here. And breakfast served anytime. French toast, omelets, home fries.
How many people can come in, say 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and one person want 2 scrambled eggs, another person want steak and lobster, another person wanting a Greek meal, and everybody get what they want.
But not specializing in a certain type of food and having so much to offer also leads to potential issues.
That's also been one of our biggest headaches, is being able to have all that, being able to have all that inventory, being able to have that available in the kitchen.
But whatever you decide to order off the Landmark menu, expect a lot of it.
The portion sizes are ridiculous.
The Landmark is known for serving huge portions at affordable prices.
If I order like the fettuccine Alfredo for dinner, I take half of it home for lunch the next day.
Their food is always good. It's always consistent. You know when you order something, you're going to get high quality. They give you great portions. Usually you got a carry-out for the next day.
The Landmark first opened in 1989. Brothers John, Tom, and Larry came to North Carolina from New York. They wanted to open a classic Greek diner, something Charlotte didn't have at the time.
There were no other diners then. This was the only true diner, and it was a little hard in the beginning. I think the biggest problem on any restaurant is the old saying, anybody can open a restaurant, but keeping it is the secret.
The early years had some growing pains, but as time went on, the Landmark developed a loyal following.
My husband and I and my family have been coming to the Landmark for probably 27, maybe 25, over 25 years.
Brothers John and Tom have retired. Larry now runs the place with nephew Angelo and nephew-in-law Milton.
We chop onions and garlic, and we saute it, and we add our ingredients that make it what the old Greeks, the old people in general used to do.
If the Landmark Diner doesn't get you with their food, they'll surely get you with their desserts. For Carolina Impact, I'm Jason Terzis reporting.
Thanks so much, Jason. The Landmark is one of many Charlotte area restaurants to be featured on the hit TV show Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. As a result of that publicity, the restaurant now has lots of out-of-town visitors stopping by, many of whom bring locals who haven't been there before. I've really got to get over there for lunch one of these days, but I'm going to try my best to avoid the pastries. Well, from food to art, artists work in all kinds of mediums, painting, clay, and photography, just to name a few. Recently, we discovered an artist in Tega Cay, South Carolina, who works in fabric. As producer Russ Hunsinger shows us, Mia Tyson is a fiber artist who creates her own women's clothing line, too.
This is my label, Living Out Loud with Mia. Oh, I live out loud all the time. If you have an eye, that's it. That's all you need is an eye. And if you do have an eye, you can recreate yourself hundreds of times with different materials. That's all it takes. My fiber art is I design the garment. Then I, by eye, figure out where to put all of the needle felting on it, because it's just like a painting. I want it to balance. I want rhythm in it. I want all those things that you look into a painting. Any artwork that has the same elements. There's a balance, there's a rhythm, there's a flow. I was at a point in my life where my body had changed and I couldn't find any clothes that flattered it. I made the garments, designed the garments, but I couldn't make them mine yet. It just didn't have my signature on it. And I see a needle felting demonstration. I went, now I can speak through my work. The needles have little barbs on them, and as they go down into the fabric, it picks fibers down and brings others up, so it gets woven more or less into the fabric. I just let the material tell me what it wanted to do. When I do I mark it, and then I look at how the design fits on the garment. That all of a sudden, it was like a pang, and it said, oh, it's right. And if it didn't, I kept working on it. And this is my favorite piece. This was in the making for 3 years until I finally got it where I wanted it. Sometimes I have people that come and see me and they said, I have worn this jacket every day. And I said, well, don't you think they need a companion by now? This was the very first vest I did. Contemporary, clean lines, and can be worn not just to a party or a museum opening, but every day. I did this for a customer, and I said, oh, that looks good, and so I kept it. I get a lot of ideas from my customers. They'll put on something, they'll ask me, if you make it for me, can you do this at this angle or that short or whatever, and then things come from it. Then I go to town with the design, and something else will pop out of that. And this is mohair. These women, they are so happy that they have something that looks good on them that's different. And there's always some elements on the back of the garments as well as the front. And that's where my biggest payoff is, when they're satisfied and they look good. I make them feel good, and they do feel good when they see the garment on them. You know, you've got high fashion where it's, you can't wear it every day. You have to wear it to special things. And I'm glad I make a garment that you can wear every day, and a lot of people can wear it. Yeah, it makes me happy.
Thanks so much, Russ. To learn more about Mia's clothing line, we've got a link to her website posted along with this story on our Carolina Impact page at pbscharlotte.org. Well, thanks so much for joining us. We always appreciate your time, and we look forward to seeing you back here again next time on Carolina Impact. Good night, my friends.
Production of PBS Charlotte.